Thanks for coming today. It is my absolute honor to be here on stage with some real professionals in the industry and in our industries. Raise of hands, just real quick, in what area of the industry are you in? If you are a designer, great. Architect, nice. Kitchen and bath, none, yes. Designer? Wonderful, okay. Fabricators? Good, welcome, welcome. Did I miss anybody? Distributors? Lots of distributors. So you're here to know what to buy. Smart. Did I miss anybody else? Exporter. Wonderful. I like that. Okay. So we kind of switched things up a little bit. So my name is Karen Rowe. I am with Countertop Concierge and Cabinet Concierge here in the Orlando area. Who else is from Orlando? One person? Okay. Hey, we represent. Okay. We had it easy, so we should have had more Orlando people here. I am a fabricator of over 25 years. I'm a kitchen and bath designer as well. I am a project manager. We've pretty much done everything from a little vanity up to some of the projects that you may be staying out at Disney and the local areas, Westgate Resort and those guys. We've done a little bit of everything. Importing, never exported, but did import. Actually, I did export a job to another country and then flew the guys there. So a little bit of everything in my category, and I'm the current president of the National Kitchen and Bath Association for the Central Florida chapter. To my right, we have Yumilka Soto. Would you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
You want me to stand?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
Okay, my name is Yumilka Soto. I'm from Dominican Republic. I'm an interior designer. I have over 10 years in the industry. Recently, I have been doing a lot of commercial restaurants, and I'm so happy to share my experience from my point of view to you guys.
Thank you. Next on the list, Jonathan.
Hello, I'm Jonathan Lambert. I'm the Director of Showroom Product and Merchandising for Triton Stone Group. We are a family-owned, women-run distributorship of slabs, tile, sinks, and tooling out of New Orleans, Louisiana. And we have 27 locations throughout the eastern seaboard, through the southeast, Texas, and into the Midwest.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Hi everyone, I'm Vincenzo Spina. I'm founder of Stones Consulting. We are a stone consultant. I'm from Italy, but I'm based in Dubai, and we mainly work in large-scale projects.
And you came very far to get here today. Thank you for joining us. He was on some very late night calls with us to plan for this. We thank you for your dedication. So everybody's here to learn about basically what's going on in the stone industry, right? What are the trends that are going on right now? What are we seeing in the marketplace? So we'll start with Jonathan, if that's okay.
Sure.
Jonathan has a vast number of locations, right? You guys work in a vast number of locations. So as everybody knows, something that may be going on here in Orlando may be different up in New York or Chicago area, right? Or California, wherever. He has places all over the place. So Jonathan, can you kind of share with us what you're seeing in the marketplace?
Of course. That is one of the challenges, having locations in different markets, as trends kind of come into play. Some markets are, more in the forefront in the larger cities, and then things kind of picking, coming up from behind in some of the smaller markets. But one of the big things that we're seeing for us, kind of nationwide, is the love of antique marbles. So a lot of the stones out of Italy, Spain, then we do a lot of things out of Vermont and also the Alabama quarry. But people are really leaning towards these warmer whites, heavy veining, jewel box type materials. So people are wanting that wow factor really to kind of make the countertops or the stone that's in the project really be the piece of art that are there. People are more daring now. It's not the safe white on gray anymore. We want purples, we want greens, we want pinks. People are really, really investing in a lot of this color depth that is making this resurgence.
So are you finding that you're seeing more of a certain material than others because of the need and want to see kind of whites with veining? There aren't a lot of granites out there that have whites with veining. So
Right.
what's your answer to that, and what are you seeing in the marketplace?
Every product has its place for sure,
Sure.
but in the design industry, it is definitely leaning more in the marbles and the quartzites. So, things that, just tell a story when you look at them. You can just, see the history throughout. You can see, the depth of the stone, and you're able to actually utilize those type of things in your design and make it where it is a focal point.
Thank you. I think you're correct. Did you want to add to that a little? I know you're in Dubai, but
Yeah.
I'm sure some of the buying things that are going on over there are very similar to what we're either going to see or what we're seeing now.
Well, the trend is kind of similar. I mean, people are looking for some wow effect. So all the very colorful material, red, green, started to become more popular again. But we have a big return to the beige colors, at least in Dubai. This is what's happening. The majority of the stone comes from Turkey, is imported from Turkey. Beige is really massive. So either marble or travertine. This is what is the trend, along with the white materials that still keep going, the Italian materials from Carrara mainly, yeah.
Milka, you do a lot of designing in the stone industry, and I know that you mentioned in our private conversation some of the different types of designing that is going on that's kind of stepping out of the box. Would you mind sharing some of that?
So, on my experience, since the natural stone is the jewelry of the house, you're doing your investment towards the natural stone versus quartz or any other materials because you believe in this romanticism. So when you do that, then that little piece of slab becomes in your showcasing, in your accent. So other than just square, plain, or rectangles, backsplash, or countertops, I started to play around with waves. So just create waves, create other type of patterns or shapes that will be the, oh wow, other than just the veining of the stone, because we already know the marble is so beautiful and the marble has this uniqueness on each little piece. So when you enhance that by adding LED lightings on the edges or creating different cuts, that will help a lot in the uniqueness. So it's not the typical island that you are tired to see. Now, other than, wow, this is beautiful, now you have something that captures your attention and keep you wondering how that was made. So in one of the pictures, you can see in the bottom a great example of how the wavy were created.
No, it's a small picture, but it's the backsplash, right, that we're looking at? Yeah. And then let's just take a look at some of these pictures too. Jonathan, I know that you shared a couple of these, and then I shared a couple of them. So if you want to talk about the first project on the left, this one right here, this one over here.
Sure. That was a unique project that we worked on. It was a design showcase home in Alabama, and the designer really wanted to step outside of the box. And so we sourced the material, the statuary Altissimo, that has the amazing veining going through it, paired it with actually Bardiglio and Imperial Danby square tiles on the floor.
It's beautiful.
Just bringing in lots of layers, the stone shelving, playing with the profiles that are on the edges. There may be another picture later in the presentation that is in the same bathroom that we actually took the stone and made the actual cabinet fronts out of it, and kept the veining matched through the slab. So it was just an incredible space. But just really wanting to think outside the box, playing with the shapes, playing with the different types of applications that you can do.
Love it. It's beautiful.
Becoming, I think, less linear. The use of natural stone nowadays is becoming less linear because either the clients or the designer wants to make a statement and make it clear that it's natural.
Yes.
It's not a quartz or
Yeah, that's
man-made
the beauty
material.
of natural stone, right, everybody? It's like it has its own beauty. It's going to do its own pop on its own. And so when you do something else to kind of enhance that, except for the standard 4-inch black splash and all that, then it really puts some more power to that beauty of that natural stone. This center picture is what they call a dolomite. Is there anybody out there who can tell me what a dolomite is? Take a guess. It's got to be somebody. Go ahead. It's a white marble? A dolomite? Yep. Okay, she's very close. She's leaving something very critical out. Yes? Durable's a good word.
Hard.
Hard. It's harder than a regular marble. So dolomites are pretty and people are falling in love with them because of the white that is usually in the background and the veining. It's really pretty, but they share the same characteristics of another marble, but not quite as extreme. Let's try and put it that way. So they can etch. I've yet to see it happen yet as a fabricator, but it can happen, right? And then this is a picture over here of marble by one of our local distributors who has unbelievable stone. And that, anybody scared of putting marble in a kitchen? I see laughter out there. Yeah, and I see hands. Yeah, everybody's afraid. Why? Speak out, I can't hear you. It's so soft. What else? It stains. What else? Bingo. What is your name? Jenny, thank you so much. So I will tell all of you, like I said, I've been doing this quite a while. One of the most very important things that you need to do before you sell any kind of countertops is get to know your customer. Get to know their lifestyle. Set the expectation for each and every kind of stone, and just by talking to them first, getting to know them, but the first couple minutes, you're probably going to be able to tell if they're a natural stone client or not. Right? Okay, so setting that expectation is so, so critical. So what else are we seeing in the marketplace? I think these are your slides?
They are.
Pictures? Go ahead.
So a beautiful kitchen out of Calicut gold. One of the things that we're seeing a lot of in most of our markets is doing stone sinks now. Having the fabricator actually create a custom sink for the space. This also kind of speaks into your design aesthetic too, of adding the curves to the ends and things like that. And then also we're loving the idea of the full height splashes with the panels that slide to hide storage for spices and appliances and things like that. Also the shelves that go behind, really seeing a big uptick in that and people wanting to, make that backsplash beautiful but functional as well.
Wonderful. Wonderful. You have anything to add?
Yes, I also love to create the sinks in order to be unique. I like that word. I like the ramp. So when it's like an infinity ramp, instead of being just like a bowl shape, when you have the ramp, it looks like fresh to me.
Agree.
Great. I'll add too that I think it was you that said, Jonathan, about the beiges coming back. So being in the NKBA2, we do a lot of trends for kitchen and bath. And at KBIS, anybody at KBIS? Okay, a few of you. This year and last year, we heard a lot of these beige, earthy tones are coming back. And me as a fabricator, I'm starting to see that more and more. So it's great that not only in Dubai, but in our distribution points, they're also seeing more and more demand for that coming into the marketplace. The other thing that I'm seeing, which they mentioned a little bit of, is the bright colors. So we're doing a lot of bright greens, quartzites that have green in them, blue in them, the brighter colors, cabinets, blues. The grays and whites are going away. The white cabinets are still here, but the other things are becoming more pastels. That mint kind of color, green cabinets has been a big thing. We've done several of those already this year. So those are big too.
I have something to add.
Yes.
So I believe that after COVID, that hits us like big time. So people are feeling now less, like more willing to be risky. Before we were more plain, oh, let's go for the secure, the neutral colors, so I can put some little accent details in color, so if I get tired of it, I will change it later. But right now, after we went through COVID, it's like, I want to feel a connection with Earth. I want to believe, I want to feel everything that before I was so scared to try. For example, back in the days when I was a child, just the banks and big institutions or public institution has red marble or green marble. So right now you start to see more of that. So it's a combination of the old wall with the new, like the modern complementation. So this is like a twist. Is she raising their hands or no? Okay. So this is like a combination of both words where you start to feel like homey. Before, all this gray and white was the homey style. Now we are looking more for those brick colors, the sage green and like warm blues, like all these tones that remind us to grandma or where we grew up. We start to actually embrace that and don't be interested in being safe, just to call it something.
It's interesting that she said, about the old world kind of tying in. That is something that I hadn't thought of until when you said that, but we've had a lot of people kind of tell us that, since COVID's over and they're able to travel again, and so many people are going overseas, at least, from the US, that they do get inspired by the architecture in Europe and South America and things like that. So that is probably driving a lot of the color choices.
I always said, if you go through Italy and you see all the marble on the sidewalks, everything's built out of marble. Outdoors, in the conditions, in the environment. Why are we worried about putting it in a kitchen? Marble's forever. All you have to do is educate your customers on how to take care of it and what to expect from it, right? I mean, there's all kinds of sealers on the market. There's all kinds of things that you can do to educate your customer in order to take care of not just marble, but all of the natural stones that are out there. So I would say don't be afraid. I mean, unless it's a family that has, 10 kids and they're drinking wine every night and, leaving it out on the countertops and they cook with a lot of oil and they're going to have an issue that they're going to have an issue, then I would say, don't be so afraid of it. Educate the customers, which may mean that you need to educate yourself a little bit more. And that's okay too, because you know what? What I learned 10 years ago is now different today. Yes. And there's always new things out there on the market. That's why you guys come to shows like this. Thank you. Can we kind of talk about this slide here? Who's got the...
How beautiful it is. Everything on there.
Go for it, Jonathan. This is Jonathan's slide.
No, it's not. They're not all mine. But just every picture on here is so beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'll talk about mine. The top center, that was the bathroom I was referring to earlier, where we took the slabs and attached it to the drawer fronts of the cabinetry. And has some nice push hardware, so they just pop open. This was something that we really had to talk the homeowner into, but they are absolutely in love with it. But just a few things on there: full height splashes in the bar of the onyx in the bottom. Again, curves and waterfalls and the calicata that's up at the top right. And then we are seeing more and more people foregoing cabinetry underneath their vanity sinks and doing a floating vanity with an apron front of such.
Absolutely.
That really gives it a nice contemporary look, but kind of brings in those classic materials to keep it beautiful.
Agreed. Beautiful work. Here are a couple more. Just want to touch on.
Okay.
Go for it.
On my experience, and when I have a client that is in the phase of choosing natural stone or man-made, that conversation comes wild. It's kind of like you need to put your gloves and start to fight to protect the romanticism of the natural. So it's very, very important to know your clients and have an honest conversation about their lifestyle, because you always have the chance to have a cookie station. 2 years ago, I learned about a dirty kitchen with one of my clients. I didn't have a clue that this exists, like a dirty kitchen. And let's say that your client or your prospect cooks with a lot of seasonings and is so worried about the staining the surface, but is so in love with the material, the marble, or want to have a really modern look with a backlit using onyx, for example. And you always can offer a cooking station made of another material that will complement that space or that design, where it's easier or more affordable to replace when it gets damaged than the whole kitchen. So it's like a mix and match again. So when the client is half and half, 50% of happy with quartz and happy with marble, what's the differences? So when you touch a marble, you can feel the connection with the stone. You might think that I'm joking, but no, you can feel. It's something that I don't.
It's an energy.
Yes, I don't have the right words to describe the difference, but you that work in the industry, you have the opportunity to touch it when you get back home or back to the office. Put your hands in a quartz, put your hands in a marble, and you can feel that. So I was talking with Karen before we started about energies and healing through mantras and yada, yada, yada. So when you have natural stone in your house feels different. Because remember, quartz has plastic on it, have epoxy, right? And then when you have the natural stone, it has the natural particles that it can be like, it goes with the weather. So if it's hot, you can feel it warm. If it's cold, you can feel it's cold. So it goes with the mood. But since quartz is kind of, I don't want to say plastic because I don't want to,
Man-made.
yes, I don't want to use a word that will be different, but you can feel. And that's the right explanation in order to decide in between man-made or natural stone, because either way you need to take care of it. If it's quartz, you need to take care of it. If it's marble, you need to take care of it. It's like your car or your house, your jewelry, your clothes. You need to take care of your belongings. So it's just what is matter to you? What is that you are looking for honestly? And I believe that's the answer when you're having that conversation.
It's funny that you say that, because I used to tell, my mother used to be in real estate, and she'd say, when you walk into the house, you'll know that's the house because it hugs you.
Yes.
It's the same way with natural stone. And I tell my clients that all the time. I'm like, you're gonna know. She's like, oh, I like this one. Oh, I kind of like that one. This one goes on the list of maybes, But then they see the one, and they know that's the one. So it's more of an energy, it's more of this is it. And I can see the look on their face every time when it happens. So listen, we're in the perception business, right? Right? So when you see somebody's look or you see somebody's reaction to something, be very cognitive of it. When you're out there and you're seeing people looking at different materials, be very cognitive of what they're liking and what they're not liking, especially if you're helping them to select a stone for a specific project or home or whatever it may be. When you're exporting or you're importing different products, I'm sure that you're not only looking at what the market is demanding, but what you guys have it tough because you need to foresee what the market's going to do, and you guys drive the market into the United States and other countries, right? I remember one time I went to visit a quarry in Brazil, and one of my builders, this was a while ago, was using giallo fiorito. Everybody remember giallo fiorito? Yeah, well, that could be orange, it could be rust, it could be whatever color, right? I made it a point, it was in his lineup. So what I would do is I'd go overseas and I'd buy all these containers of my builder colors and I'd bring them back. Like I said, this was a while ago. And I was able to see 3 months in advance what's coming in so that I could prepare that builder for the change in selection when their customers come to select. Because some of these homes are 3 months out, right? 2 months, 3 months out. So I could change out these samples and say, hey, we're going to get rid of Giallo Fiorito because what's coming in is really ugly and pink. It's not what you've been selling. So be ahead of the game. Always be educating yourself so that you can educate your clients. So, Jonathan, can you tell me how you might educate some of your clients, or from your side of the fence, or your area, what is it like to set an expectation for a customer? Educate them, because I'm one of your customers, right?
Sure.
Right.
We kind of teach our designers to have what we call the perfection or patina conversation. And it's where we really discover the lifestyle of the customer, making sure what their expectations are, what their performance goals are. But then we also push it a little further, and we really kind of want to educate, giving them the facts versus the myths of natural stone versus man-made materials, and then really put it into a real-life example. And one of the easiest ways to do that is, all of our customers that are buying natural stone, usually go out to dinner at nice restaurants, and most nice restaurants have natural stone. And they pull themselves up to the bar, and that bar at that restaurant is seeing way more action than anything in your house is going to have.
Yeah.
So once they kind of just connect it with something that they understand, they can then be okay with it or say, no, I need it to be perfect. My personality won't allow that, and we can kind of change direction. But we really just want to tie it back into their life so that they can understand it fully.
Perfect. Thank you. How about, Jonathan, from your perspective, because how do you foresee what people are going to buy?
So, generally from my perspective, in Dubai, the stone is widely used for flooring, which is a bit different from the topic we've been discussing till now, which is more countertops.
Yeah.
And, so when we educate the customers and we explain what to expect, it's mainly showing them a representation of the range of tonality they can expect of one material or pattern, and let them accept the fact that there is a variation in what they can expect in the final result. I mean, I work with developers mainly, so large scale developments. It's a matter of procuring 20,000, 30,000 square meters. It's not that you can be too picky with the vein, or you cannot. You need to accept a wide range of
I was just going to add. I was just going to ask you. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But I was wondering if you have a part in helping them to make their selection, to
Yeah,
make sure
absolutely.
it's the right application.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's one of the key points of our consultancy. When when the client select the stone, the designers they have an idea of color that they want. Then it's up to us to select the range that can the quality range that can provide the quantity of stone that is required by the project in the timeline.
Yeah.
So it's a combination of these two things.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yumilka, you shared with us earlier that you really have to get to know your customer and their lifestyle. And so can you kind of just tell me how you do that?
So there's something funny. People are more willing to put marble in the floors and don't care about it, don't ask so many questions, just I liked it. And when it comes to the kitchen, it's a big deal.
Yes.
But if you pay attention, you do more to the floor than actually the countertop, right? Mm-hmm. And I almost hold hands, like, let's be honest. What is that? I always ask the question about what's your culture? What's your family? What you do with your family? Do you receive a lot of people? You do just an annual event for Christmas or Thanksgiving? Or you always have all your grandchilds here every Sunday. Mm-hmm. So what is that you do? So we can take a decision about what we're gonna do if you need an actual cookie station or you have the freedom to have the whole kitchen just one material. So after the decision is made, it's all about helping them to know what to do when the action comes. If you're drinking wine and then this falls off, just clean it right away. You're not gonna go to sleep and then clean it the next day. This is something
Some people
actually
do.
But to me, it's more like brushing your teeth. Right? Something spilled, your action is immediately to clean it out. Yeah. It's something normal, like you just do it. You don't even think about it. So you pay attention to what you're doing and you take care of your valuable stuff.
Yeah.
So after having that conversation, don't use acid, be careful with the cleanings, try to be so conscious that if you have natural stone, you need to have natural stone products, more water-based. Just take care of your belongings, that's it.
That's great. That's great feedback. Does anybody here want to share how they set the expectations or they educate their customer? I can't hear you. Somebody's saying something. Come on, don't be shy.
Just a whispering.
We're up here. You guys can speak. We're all friends.
I think as a designer, usually it's about, you have the interview with your customer to know more about them, and then it's when you can kind of educate it. I work with Floor and Decor, basically in the store with them and the designer department. We have the products right there. So
yeah, that's helpful.
It's really easy to go with them and show them what are the best products. And honestly, right now, you don't need to go to the same store that you bought your product or your marble to find the cleaners. Right now, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a part that you need to educate it with pictures. Even if you need to print out some information and have it right away for them, it's easier too.
Excellent. Anybody else? This is supposed to be interactive, people. I'm the only one.
They will absolutely etch marble. There's no way around it.
They will etch marble. There's no.
I don't worry about staining. I don't worry about scratching. The etching is inevitable. I tell them that they may have etched it 90 days ago. Notice it today. They will see it every day moving forward. You say it's like a brand new car. You get that first ding at Target, you're mortified and devastated.
I use the word character.
Right, but 6 months later you got 5 dings. Hey,
Yeah.
that's just how.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else? Go ahead.
With customers,
Yeah, photos sometimes don't always do it, right?
So that makes me nervous sometimes to recommend.
Mm-hmm.
Or recommend marble.
Anybody else? Yes.
We do a lot of dining tables, and usually we explain to clients, they fall in love with marble for dining table. And we let them choose what they want, what they like, but we make like a list of do's and don'ts.
Good.
And we explain to them like, this is a natural stone, you need to be careful, use these products to clean the stone, and we list the products, also where to buy them. We tell them, do not do this, use a heat protector when you put something, use coasters. We educate the client before. So
Excellent.
when they already have the dining table, we avoid like, I have a hot stain
Mm-hmm.
at a least.
Right.
So that's the way we find like we can sell marble for dining tables, but also educate the client.
So that's good. So they're not only verbally saying it, right? They're verbally letting the customer know, but they're putting it in writing because you know that the customer's going to come back to you in 6 months and say, nobody ever told me that, right? I didn't know that.
And also some cleaning products, they use very harsh cleaning products that they stain, like when they pass like a cleaning cloth, it stains.
Mm-hmm.
And also it takes the shiny.
The shiny, because it's, yep, a dolphin.
So we recommend also the products.
Yes, excellent. Because there's a lot of products out there on the market at the grocery store that I would never tell my natural stone customers to use. You guys in agreement with that?
Yeah.
So I'm going to share a quick technique with you that I use to get to know my customers, and then we can set that, set that expectation and educate them. It's something called Ford. And I know there's some people in here that may know that because they've heard me speak before. But Yumi touched on it right off the bat. F is for family, right? Get to know their family. What kind of, do they have kids? What kind of family do they have over? O, occupation. What do they do for a living? How long have they been doing it? Do they work from home all the time? R is recreation. So what do they do for fun, right? What are their hobbies? Do they like to have people come over the house and party, party, party? What do they like to do? Do they play golf? And then D is for dreams. What's on their bucket list? And what I have found is that if I can figure out 2 or more of those items, that customer has confidence in me, and I have made a personal connection with that customer, and then I've also learned what their lifestyle is so I can help guide them in the right direction. Does that make sense? So real important to, like in those first couple minutes of meeting somebody, to make that connection, and that's one way you can practice doing it, is using Ford. Family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Okay, does that help anybody? Good. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit more about one more trend going on here. I'm seeing all kinds of summer kitchens. Are you guys seeing summer kitchens? Out the yin-yang summer kitchens. Now, these are granite summer kitchens, and that was a huge summer kitchen. But there's some other materials out there on the market that are great for summer kitchens, too. But the good old granite, or what are some other products that we can use outside? I'm sorry? Porcelain. Let's stick with natural stones, but yes, you're right. It is, and I said that. There's a lot of other products. Slate, travertine.
Limestone.
I was looking at Kathleen going, come on. Limestone. Anything else? Quartzites, okay.
Bluestone.
Bluestone. We're getting down to the wire here, aren't we? Because there aren't a lot of, there's some things you got to watch out for, right? I'm sorry? Granite, right. We mentioned that in the beginning. Excellent. So this was a granite, New Caledonia, used in a summer kitchen. And then commercial applications on facades. Whose picture is this? Go for it.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah, that's external of a villa. So yeah, we in Dubai is quite popular to use natural stone in landscaping. So a lot of development is still ongoing. So it's mainly granites, I would say.
Mainly granites.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you guys seeing out there besides porcelain? Because I know what porcelain is big. But what are you seeing, not only in the outdoor applications, but facades, or, I know porcelain, or just residential, or let's say projects? What kind of natural stones are you using out there more?
Travertine is coming back.
Travertine's coming back.
Yeah.
Yes, because of the beiges and stuff,
exactly.
right? Anybody else?
Tumbled stones are really starting to come
Tumble
back again.
stones? I'm looking for a Q word. Somebody said it earlier. People are afraid to use marble. What else could they use in place of marble that starts with a Q that's hard? There it is. I heard it somewhere. Quartzite. So tell me some things about quartzite. Now I'm really going to come down there and get you guys.
But the stack stone has been forever, right?
Stack stone on the back, yeah, stack stone. I want to know about quartzite. Tell me some things about quartzite.
Extremely hard.
It's extremely hard. How hard is it? It can be brittle. Is it harder than granite? Yes? Yep. What else? Harder to fabricate. I like that. Harder to fabricate. Costs us a lot more money to fabricate that, doesn't it? Depending on what it is, but yes. Is it more money? Yes. More money, usually. I'm going to pick on somebody here in a second if I don't get more answers.
Less porous?
Less porous? Not always. Yeah, not always, especially if it's honed or something like that. I'm coming for you. Who do I pick? It is beautiful. You get the look of marble, the white veining, and a quartzite material. Okay, now tell me the cons about quartzite, Kathleen.
Well, I just heard it earlier. It's a little more brittle.
It's a little more brittle. Do you have to worry about stains? He's shaking his head yes. Tell us why. It's porous. Okay? Anything that's porous, right? But what about this? When you're fabricating it, and you guys might not know this if you're not fabricators, but I know we have some fabricators over here. When you're fabricating quartzite, what is really, really important? She's like looking over the shoulder. I'm not going to embarrass you, but go ahead. What? It's a stronger material, but there's something that you need to do before you can put that in a customer's home. And what is it? But before you seal it, the polish is different. Something very important. And if you guys are not aware of this, and you are fabricators, or just anybody, you need to probably attend the 4 o'clock meeting down there on quartzite. Leonard.
Does it get
I
oxidized?
heard it. Who said that? You. Moisture. Quartzites have to dry before you seal them. Anybody ever seen a countertop and it has kind of this on the edge? A picture frame. It's art. The fabricator just didn't know. It was creating more art. Okay? So, and how long can that take? Depending on the quartzite. Hours? Thank you. Up to 2 weeks to dry out.
Wow.
Up to 2 weeks to dry out, depending on the quartzite. So, yeah, it's a great material. Yeah, it's harder than granite. Yeah, it gives you another option besides marble, but there's some other things that that customer needs to be educated on before you can get them into a quartzite and say, this is the product for you, and by the way, we're going to install it next week. Because that might not always happen. And those are the reasons why.
Well, I would say Taj Mahal, you don't have to worry about. That's a tried and true. It's honestly on Mont Blanc,
Yep,
Cavas,
same thing.
White Santorini.
Yep.
It's all those white quartzites. Now you get like a Red Dragon, you get Fusion.
Yeah, well, those are granites.
Those are tried.
The red dragon is gonna rip your blade apart.
What I'm saying is, you get those types of stones.
That's right.
White quartzite.
Yeah. Normally, yes. You just have to be sure that quartzite is dry before you put any sealer on it.
Something to touch on with that too
Thank
is
you.
when it's fabricated, you also run the risk of your adhesives leaching into the stones on the edges.
Perfect. Love that. That's not
So,
just quartzite. That's
You really need to seal
all
the edges
natural stones.
also.
So when you're doing a seam, you're taping it off, and lots of different things that you need to be aware of. Excellent point, Jonathan. Anybody have anything else to share that we need to learn about today? Because that's what we're here for, right?
I do.
Yes,
It's not a sharing, it's a question.
it's a question. We got an answer, don't we?
Okay, on your expertise, which one of them oxidize and what can we do to fix it?
On the natural stones,
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure I get the question right. On the natural stones, which ones oxidize the
Yes.
most, and what can we do to fix it?
Yes, correct.
Who's got the answer?
Well, if they acid wash the slabs, then they are hiding the oxidation. Eventually, they will come back out. Anything with iron in it will oxidize if it's outside, right?
Yes.
Inside, properly sealed, you should be okay. But again, if they are acid washing slabs, which technically should be a no-no, but people do it all the time, that will eventually come back out.
Thank you. Good answer. But we don't always know if they've been acid washing them either, right?
You have to trust your supply.
I like that. That's a good one. So again, we go back to what? Relationships, not just with the customers, but with our distributors, your distributors with their importers and exporters, right? You guys build a relationship with them, and then you don't want to buy from anybody else either, right? Because you trust that they're going to give you what you want and what you need and not try and sneak something in there, right? What other questions about natural stone do we have? Anybody else see anything else on the market in a natural stone that we haven't mentioned? Kathleen.
So it's more specific to the freeze thaw. So
Okay.
the northern states may have a freeze thaw in the outdoor kitchen every once in a while. We already talked about sealing. But in terms of sealing, how often would you need to seal to keep the stone from spalling?
Perfect. I like that question. Did everybody hear her question? Say it a little louder, Kathleen.
So it really deals with spalling, freeze thaw, especially with limestone. You have sealing on there that will trap the moisture in there. When there's a freeze thaw, it spalls, so it pops out. So if you've got a countertop or any of the limestone outside, and it probably is with every stone, right?
Sure.
But how often do you need to reseal, and how would that affect the freeze thaw?
So she's mentioning a couple things here. She's mentioning the porosity of the stone with expansion and contraction. She's talking about a colder environment, which here sometimes it gets cold, but we don't always have this issue. But we've talked about this before, the Women in Stone. And if you're not a part of the Women in Stone, can I just mention you need to be a part of the Women in Stone? It is an amazing group of women that men are members as well within the Natural Stone Institute, and we just, I mean, if you need answers to anything, it's there, okay? Just a little by the sideline there. So expansion, contraction, she's talking about sealing. I want to add something else to that. What about the adhesive that you're laying it on? Was it at Coverings we did that display a few years ago? Was anybody here a few years ago when the Women in Stone put on a display about outside kitchens? And that was one of the things that came out. No? Striking out here. Okay. So anybody have the answer? Who works up north?
You need an outdoor rated adhesive.
Outdoor rated adhesive. How often do you need to reseal?
Yearly?
Huh?
Each year?
Each year? Who lives up north? Only one person lives up north? You live up north? All right. Everybody else is from the south? You're just shy. I know there's people here that aren't from the north, aren't from the south. Even in the Midwest. Who's here from the Midwest? Thank you, guys. We have only one person that wants to answer questions over here. There's nobody else over there. I'm going to have to come down here again, I guess. Okay, so let's pick on someone. Where are you from? Yeah, you. Where?
From Toronto.
Oh, she's from Toronto. You can't answer the question. I said from the north.
We're the shy group.
Oh, you're the shy group. Okay, I won't put you on the spot. Where are you from? West Virginia. Well, wait a minute now, guys. That's north. Oh, yeah, it's norther than here. Okay, so do you have an answer to the question? No answer. Okay, next table. I'm looking at her. She's from Atlanta, still north of here. Do you have an answer? Come on, guess. Somebody guess. You had some great ideas. Where are you from? Oh my gosh, she didn't answer. You guys are a bunch of little liars. Okay, but you're still north of us. Okay, no, we're about as south as we can get until we go out of the United States. So no answer.
The only thing I would say is just watching when it rains, and if it's puddling, you need to seal it. If it's still beating, you got the seal still on it.
Okay.
If it starts absorbing water, you want to seal it.
That is a good thing about sealing. Excellent. You use a piece of ice.
Yeah, if it's not raining, a piece of ice, if it melts and soaks in, then it's time to reseal.
Okay.
If it beats up like wax on the car, it's still good.
Does that always happen? Does it always beat up? No. Okay. Where are you ladies from?
I'm from Texas, but I live in Panama, Central America.
Okay.
So I'm south.
You are south. You're the only not liar in this group. So, and, another liar. Coming for you. Where are you from?
North Carolina.
Oh, another one. Mm-hmm. Do you know the answer?
That's south.
No,
Carolina's south.
it's north of us.
Everything's north from Florida.
I know, that's the trick. But everybody didn't raise their hand except for two people.
I would say, normally I tell my customers every year they need to seal or
Okay.
check to make sure they need to seal or not.
I think that used to be like the rule of thumb, right? Back, I don't know when. Leonard, we're aging ourselves here. Say,
I think it's more 3 years.
more than 3 years.
No, in the period of
In the period of 3 years. Okay, I'm coming back to you for the answer, don't worry. Because I know you know the answer. Where are you from? Boynton Beach, Espanol? Okay. Okay, so you from Boynton Beach? Okay, and what do you do there? A sales rep for a stone company? Okay, great. Great, do you know the answer? Oh, she was on her phone. That's okay. Don't mean to interrupt. You guys are from
South Korea.
South Korea. I've been there once. It was wonderful. Yeah. So do you know the answer? No? What do you do over there? Oh, you're manufacturers. Okay. What do you manufacture? Engineered stone. Okay. He knows the answer. Oh, come on. You're just like smiling. I like that you like smiling. Where are you from? Houston. Okay. Welcome. You guys all together? Look at this beautiful lady in blue. I mean in pink. I'm blind today.
I'm from St. Petersburg.
St. Petersburg, Florida. I love it over there. And do you know the answer? So how often should we, let's review the question. How often should we reseal on an outdoor kitchen? What about expansion and contraction in cold weather? Any ideas? So, I'm sorry? The soft joint. Look at that. Look at that. What's a soft joint? There are some epoxies out there that are soft joints, but you're right. So Kathleen, tell me, when we do an outdoor kitchen, what do we have to worry about? Expansion and contraction.
What do you have to worry about?
Because it's not just the sealer, is it? It's the spalling, but that's kind of the sealer breaking and the seam breaking. So she's right, soft seam, right? Your material at the bottom, underneath your stone that you install it on, needs to be set for outside. Here's a little trick. If you pitch your countertop like you would almost a windowsill, but not quite that far, that pitch is going to make that water slide off of your countertop when it rains, and less chance for freezing in that expansion and contraction. Did I miss anything? Did I miss anything?
So with the stone being porous, though, I mean, it's still going to retain some moisture.
It is.
So, I mean, does sealing, I know the sealing is important, but I mean, does it really make that big of a difference outdoors?
It depends on the stone. And if you go back to the Natural Stone Institute, you will see that they've changed their view on sealing stone over the years. I feel like I'm taking over the stage here, guys. I'm sorry. They're not recommending that you seal every stone now.
So that falls, so like we're on the tile side of things.
So
There's always a huge debate, of course, with white marble and showers. So is that falling into that category now?
I would think that that is a good question. I'm not sure I know 100% of that answer. I would stop by the Natural Stone booth and ask them. But I believe the answer is that you'll want to seal it not only just because of it being a natural stone and constantly getting the water, buildup of the minerals in the water, grout, that kind of stuff. But please double check me on that. And if I see you around the show, let me know the answer if I was right or not. Okay, guys, we have 3 minutes. Ta-da! Anything else you guys would like to say in the last 3 minutes? Because I've been talking way too much.
If you guys have any questions?
They don't want to talk.
Is everybody kind of seeing the consensus on the trends, though? Kind of across from, I mean, there's obviously people here from all over the world. Are we kind of all on point?
Anybody mentioned thin stones yet?
Thin stone?
Are you seeing any of the 12 mil natural stones coming to your area?
Not much.
Well, you will.
Is that usually, though,
coming
that's
up,
used
yeah.
for vertical applications, correct?
Yeah.
No, they're using them on countertops.
So this is going to be coming to us 1.2 cm, 12 mil. And you're going to see some of the finest quartzites, marbles, everything you see now, you're going to start seeing in 1.2 cm. You're going to see it heavily resin impregnated with mesh on the back like you do your quartzites.
Laminated products.
It's happening.
Laminated products.
It's going to be coming your way. I've seen a little bit
It is
in
gonna
the
be
Orlando area. Not that much, but it's coming.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's great news.
How strong is that?
It's scary in a way.
We're able to cut and fold everything, which is good.
Cut and fold. Everybody know what that means?
Okay, so you have two questions over here. One is how strong is that for the natural stone, and the other one is what kind of backing is used for that?
So the backing is just your normal fiberglass mesh backing. And you're going to see it resin impregnated. They're going to be pulling
How about trimming down backsplashes? The people don't want the full thickness. Nice. Makes me nervous how delicate it's going to be. They better put a nice big thick mesh on that, like 3/4 of an inch. I'm joking. Well, that'll be interesting. Do you see that over in Dubai?
Yeah,
You do?
starting. Yeah,
It is starting, okay.
There is a massive production in China of these products, laminated products. They have a backing like what you mentioned, or also ceramic, or also cheaper stone products like granite, laminated with a premium material like a statuary, for example. Yeah, it's happening a lot.
Interesting.
So the machinery has already been purchased, financed, and everything out of Italy. Some of the machinery has already been shipped over to Brazil. Factories are gearing up for it. You're seeing some of the ultra compacts that are flooding the market these days. Your center stones, your porcelain products, whatnot. You're seeing firsthand. These are going to be your prototype shops that are the feeler for why some of this stuff's going to roll right into production. I really think notice it to be when they say, oh, wow, look at this, and the next thing you know, it's going to be a common staple in all of your shops.
Is anybody seeing that in their area yet? You are? And where did you say you were from? New Jersey. You guys always see stuff before us. Anybody else? Any Californians? Why would you come that far, right? Okay, just thought I'd ask. All right. Any other questions? Yes?
Just to add from the design perspective of what's trending with natural stone is I come from the lighting world.
Yes.
So we're seeing a ton of that increase of all backlit panels, but also being in the lighting world for as long as I have been, I think it's very important when you are lighting and under cabinet lighting, that they're using a beautiful diffuse light across the under cabinet, so you're not getting the diodes coming across the counter. There's some really, really incredible tools that are also coming out for that as well, to be able to optimize to illuminate in different areas.
I do want to say that I've seen a lot of my clients start to want to really backlight more. It used to be really, really big. People did it with onyx more than anything. But I'm seeing it with Cristallo and even some quartzites that have some translucent parts of it. I have a client right now we're working on a condo with that we're backlighting everything. Lights everywhere. Anybody else? So is everybody in agreement that you are seeing some of the same trends that we've mentioned up here? Yes? No? Karen, you're boring. Absolutely. Layer, like a sealer?
Yes, but on top of the marble for making it suitable for the color.
The answer is yes. There is sealers out there to put on the marble, but it is not ever going to take away the risk of etching, porosity, anything that it naturally has. When people think of a sealer, they think they're going to put a sealer on and it's going to be like the finish on your car, right? It's going to be impenetratable. That's not the case. It's still going to breathe because it's a porous stone. So you're still going to see some wet spots. You're still going to see things like that happen, but it's never ever going to look like a perfect shiny finish on your vehicle would look. Some are going to have, polished dull looks on them, depending on the factory and how it was finished, depending on their natural consistency and the different, parts of the slab. So there's not a sealer out there, there's not an impregnator out there, there's not anything out there that is, unless you're going to put, what's that stuff called that makes it hard as a rock? Come on, I'm looking at you. Use it on wood. Polyurethane. I would never put that on a natural stone. Okay? But that's something, a polyurethane like that would harden and do that, but not in a natural stone world. Does anybody know of anything differently than what I'm saying? Speak now. Yes? A UV coating. It's like a sealer, though.
No, it's like a micro layer that is basically a resin
Yeah.
that hardens with the UV
I'm sure it wears though, huh? Yeah.
Discolors.
You know, usually what we tell our customers is beauty of marble especially is renewal. So, you know, it kind of puts the customer at ease, letting them know that, you know, these acid etches you're going to get for normal use. You know, a fabricator can come in and rehone it up.
Yep.
It comes back like new, it's renewable. And that's the beauty of marble.
Yeah. Just acid
I
it.
think it kind of puts them at ease a little bit.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for the Oh, she has one more question. We can't leave yet.
Karen, is this a self-reporting CEU class? Or
I don't know. I will have to ask, and if you want, I can find out for you.
okay, because usually we have to know the course number.
Yeah.
The old days of coverage, they used to have paperwork at the back of the class, you took the paper, everybody signed in, but now I know they scan as we come in.
Yeah.
No class numbers.
I don't remember him saying it was a
We have
CEU.
not had a class
I don't think it
number
is a
yet.
CEU. I don't believe it is a CEU. I think it's just educational part of coverings. Okay. Anything else? I want to thank you, Milka, Jonathan, and Vince for being a part of today. Their professionalism, knowledge. What would we do without them in this industry? Thank you very much, you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
And thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you.
Enjoy your show. Have a good day.